person-centred review is a really different way to hold the annual review meeting. It's informal, it's accessible to your son or daughter, and it gives you a really powerful voice in the whole process. You're able to put on the agenda all of the things that you see are important, and you can make sure that those things are followed through to actions. The person-centred review gets all of the people in the room who need to be there, so that you avoid having endless meetings where you repeat the same thing again and again to different people. We visited some schools who've been using the person-centred review process and talked to some staff and families to find out what they think.
Person-centred review is a meeting where all of the people that are actually involved in the life of the young person actually come together to talk about what's important to the young person and what they want for their future. So that includes obviously the young person and their family and friends, but also includes professionals, which could be connections, could be social workers, would be teachers, it could be health professionals if the young person's got quite a lot of health needs.
Thank you everybody for coming this afternoon. Really important occasion. We're here for Jordan's Year 9 Person-Centred Transition Review.
A person-centred review really is a way about finding out what's right for the young person. So the way that the reviews actually happen is they really start with focusing what's important to the young person and what people like and admire about them, so they always start with a positive.
And you're very thoughtful and you're kind to other people. And they were what all your friends said, why you make a good friend to them.
Doing person-centred reviews at Westgate School has meant that our young people are much more involved in their reviews that they have. They actually take part in their reviews, so what I do is work with our young people here to prepare them, and we have quality circle times that our young people look at their like and admire.
Shamil loves Bee Gees, doesn't he?
Yeah.
When Shamil's listening to the Bee Gees, what does he do?
Singing.
Sings. Does he sing very quietly?
Loud.
Loud. Very loud. Sings very loud. Okay. So, and if Shamil is fine, he doesn't worry about a thing, and he's very happy to sing loud in front of people, what does that mean? He's very... What is
Brave.
Brave. So going back to one of our pictures, he's very brave.
A lot of our young people now, they will sort of go to other young people and say, oh, don't worry, it's really quite nice what happens at the reviews, and it was really good to be involved.
I enjoyed the meeting and the annual review a lot, especially the cheese and onion crepes.
Well, the agencies who get involved in the person-centred review programme are usually the same agencies who would have to come to the traditional style of statutory annual review, but they perhaps approach the review differently. Everybody's listening from the perspective of the young person and their family.
And what I'm good at is maths and playing on the PlayStation 3.
And that's the starting point in all of this, rather as thinking from the agency perspective and what they want to bring to the review.
I think the parents now are a lot more involved with the reviews. They feel a lot more sort of comfortable coming along to the reviews. They felt it's more relaxed and more open, and they felt they've been able to come in and discuss things, and it's not just been about educational stuff. What the parents like about it is the fact that we do draw up an action plan, so they can see a progress and see that change is happening and things are being done, and it's not just put away for another year.
Everything was form-filled, and you'd be sitting in a room feeling rather tense, just going through as if you're attending an exam. You know, it was simply, uncomfortable. With the new style of person-centred reviews, it's totally different. It's open. The format is a lot better. You've got people involved, and you can physically see those people involved, which makes a big difference. You have the opportunity of putting everything on board, so everything's tangible around you and people are responding to that, and it's fantastic.
The old reviews was just, you went in a room and he's done this and he's met this target and he's met that target. See you next year.
For argument's sake, if an head teacher wanted to come to my son's review to see how it
was done, I think it would be good, because I think all schools should be doing it this way, because as I say, you get the child involved and it's not all about negative. There've been a lot of positives that the child can do.
Here you have the opportunity of actually discussing what's going to happen to your child going forward, and it's phenomenal because that really fills you with confidence that your child's going to do well, especially when you know, okay, you've got a child who's got a disability and he's not going to do too well as an ordinary person. You've already worried about that, but this sort of takes that fear away.
One of the things that I did find, that when we were putting the school's point of view as to what was working and what was not working, it often is a way of facilitating a difficult to answer or to ask question.
Now, Dad said it's all right for me to say it today, but Dad has got a diagnosis of autism. And in your statement, in this part 2, it mentions that you've got a lot of things like your dad. I'm not a medic, I can't comment on this. The only way that we could pursue this further is if I got your permission to ask the educational psychologist to perhaps come and have a word and see you, Jordan. Is that all right? Would I be able to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It doesn't threaten the parents, and the parents can ask a difficult question of the school and it's not threatening to the school.
As important as school is and progress at school is, it's not just that focus, it's thinking about what kind of lives young people want in the future and how are we as a group of supporters going to work together to enable them to get those lives. And that could include what they want to do outside of school, their leisure activities, their friendship circles, support around their health, and their aspirations for the future around further education and work.
Hello. Look at me.
The first time we did the person-centred planning felt very much as though it was around Billy. So it was led and facilitated by the experts, but it was all about Billy.
My name is Billy. I like football, I like running and dribbling, I like basketball, I love shooting, I love boxing. And acting is funny. I love acting, it's my favourite.
One of the things that we talked about and emerged in the action plan was wanting Billy to still be able to come back and do some sporting activities at school. And so the school delivered on their side of the bargain, and Billy doesn't go to college on Fridays, so he comes back each Friday and joins in with some of the guys on the basketball court. So it's great from that point of view, yes. And I'm not necessarily convinced it would have happened if we hadn't have had that forum initially.
The two big ideas we've talked about, and we've talked about this around the dinner table as a family. First of all, maybe going away to a catering college. And the other idea, which has gone down very well, is Billy having his own cafe, Bill's Bar or whatever it's called. And that's not really something we'd thought about before. And I think the review stimulated that.
I think for young people is think about your review. It's really a chance to talk about what you want to do in the future, what kind of job you want to do, to think about where you want to live, and to really think about what kind of education you want. But it is your chance to have your say. My big message for families would be give it a go. It does seem quite different, but it is actually an opportunity where you get as a family a chance to have your say about your young person's future. And the preparation, you know, there's lots of support around to prepare. And actually, most parents say it's a lot better process when they've been through this than the old professional reviews. I think the reason that I'm so passionate about person-centred reviews is after supporting people with learning disabilities for over sort of 25 years now, this is the first time that I've really seen them make a difference for people. And I think that I'm seeing young people and their families sort of make choices about what they really want to do for their future. And I think it's that the empowering sort of way that we do reviews now has actually given young people that confidence to say what they really want.
How's that?